What's up, everybody? It's your boy JP, back with another video. Today, I got the Zenfone Max M2. This is a phone from overseas. I actually got on Amazon with Prime shipping. It is the 4D blue color. Very nice. And it's actually metal, not glass. Dual camera with your flash on the bottom. Your fingerprint sensor, Asus branding. I'm impressed with a lot of things about this phone. I really am. This is one of my favorite budget phones in recent months. I'm not sure if this is coming out in the US. I kind of think it is because if you look through Asus's US phone website, if you dig deep enough, you'll find this and the Pro variant. So I think they're both coming here. But one of the things I'm most impressed with this phone is all of the bands it has for LTE. Last year, I got the Zenfone 5, which was only available overseas. Then I got the Zenfone 5Z, the international version, which did come out here in the US later on, and I had that version as well. The international Zenfone 5 and 5Z, they had band 2 and 5 for LTE, and if you watch my video on the Honor 8X, I do stress that band 2 is a very critical band for AT&T and T-Mobile. Of course, band 4 is a more critical band for T-Mobile than 2 is. But band 5, which a lot of Asian phones use, it is a band that works on AT&T, but it is very rare and hard to come by. So, if a phone just has band 5, I wouldn't buy it even if you are using AT&T. But the thing with the international Zenfone 5 and 5Z from last year was that they were missing band 12, which means it was also missing band 17. They go hand in hand. Band 12 is for T-Mobile and 17 is for AT&T, and they are known as the faster frequencies for the networks. Kind of a big deal. The international Zenfone 5 and 5Z did not have band 12 and 17. It still worked fairly good on AT&T, at least. I'm not sure about how good it worked on T-Mobile. I don't remember if it had band 4. But it did have 2 for AT&T, which was very critical to have there. And 2 is also for T-Mobile, but not quite. T-Mobile relies on band 4 a little bit more. But nonetheless, this is the international Zenfone Max M2. And what impresses me with it is that it has all of your frequencies imaginable, except band 71 for T-Mobile. But all of your other ones, it has. It has. I mean, your US Zenfone 5Z last year didn't even have band 71, and you would kind of expect it to. I mean, everything else about it was top spec, but it didn't have that. And you had phones that were half the price, half the specs that did have it. So, but this phone has a lot of frequencies. I don't know if I can zoom into it enough here from the box. I'm trying to remember where it's even at. I know it's on here. I just don't quite remember where, and I'm probably looking straight at it. There it is. There's your bands right there. Let me try to stabilize this a little bit here. But this is all around a great phone. I've only had it for a couple of hours, and I'm really enjoying it right now. Here's a little overlay for the screen. Kind of gives you an idea on the specs. This has the all-new Snapdragon 632. Qualcomm just announced it a few months ago. This is probably the first phone with it. Maybe. I wouldn't be surprised if Xiaomi or or Oppo or Vivo beat them to the punch. Those companies always seem to be the first with not only Qualcomm chipsets, but also with MediaTek's latest chipsets. They always seem to come out with as well. But the Snapdragon 632 is a very interesting chipset. And the reason why that is because it actually gets higher benchmarks than the Snapdragon 636. And, you know, we had quite a few phones that came out with that processor last year, and you're going to see more come out with it this year. So the Snapdragon 636 isn't really, I mean, you're going to see a lot of phones in 2019 with it. And you probably won't even see as many with the 632 that this rocks. Motorola has a few coming out later this year, very soon, with the Moto G7 series. But the 632, the Snapdragon 632, you would actually rather want it than the 636. It benchmarks higher. And it's not a huge gap, but it is a noticeable gap. It's not something marginally that you're barely going to notice. Now, I mean, I'm sure performance-wise you won't, but check, do a Google search, check it out. Multiple sites reported on that a couple months ago. I actually had to look it up the other day just to make sure I read them right a couple months ago. I wanted to reread them, but it's a great phone. It does have Asus's Max display. It's a 6.3 inch all-screen display. It does have a small rectangular style notch. Little bit bigger than what was on the Honor 8X, but not quite the size of what was on the Zenfone 5 and 5Z last year, or the iPhones. It is a beautiful screen, and it's really hard to believe that it's only 720 plus. It's only HD plus, not full HD plus, and I didn't realize that till afterwards, but it's great. I mean, the viewing angles on it are just fantastic. I mean, this recording doesn't really do it any justice. The Pro with the Snapdragon 660 has a full HD screen, full HD plus. But I wasn't as interested in that. And the reason why that is because I've already had tons of devices that have the Snapdragon 660. The Snapdragon 660 came out, in 2017. It's 2019. I like trying new things. I mean, seeing how the 632 scores higher than the 636, the 660 isn't. I don't really see the 660 being that big of a difference. I really think this is the better buy, to be honest with you. This model has 4 gigs. The Pro they do offer with 6 gigs. And I know why they do that. I mean, I'm sure they could have given this 6 gigs of RAM. I'm sure the Snapdragon 632 supports it. But nonetheless, it may have been overkill as well, though. I didn't go over a lot of the accessories there. I usually do that first thing. But there's your clear TPU case. I'll kind of put this back down for a minute. Show you the box here. Max. SIM ejector tool. Other little booklets. This is also, unfortunately, like the Honor 8X, micro USB and not USB Type-C. I hate that. That's the one thing I hate about this phone. You do get a pair of headphones with it, though. It does have a headphone jack. Your power brick, of course. But I mean, other than that, it is a great phone. If you haven't been able to tell yet, it runs stock Android. It is 8.1. 9.0 Pi is due any day. Any day. I read something about it every single day. This phone, believe it or not, does not have any of the Android One. It doesn't have any of the Android One branding on it. No stamp like it would normally have on the back bottom here. It's not advertised as such either. It's not advertised as an Android One phone. But it does not run Asus's Zen UI. It runs stock Android. And the only bloat on here is Asus's calculator. Because all of the other apps are Google's. The calendar, the camera, the clock. Those are all Google's apps. The camera isn't. Google does have their own camera app. And Asus's can be disabled, and then you can download the Google calculator. That's literally the only blow. Very impressive. Very impressive. I don't know. Correction. It does have Facebook's. It does have their three. It does have their three apps. There are Facebook Messenger, and Instagram. Let's see if these can be disabled. Yep, Facebook can be disabled, just like the calculator. So, I mean, it would be better if you could delete them if you don't want them. Of course, I use Facebook, so I'd have it on here one way or another anyway. But another interesting thing about these phones, the country that these were announced at, and these were announced like right after or right before Christmas, in India. This and the Pro are actually marketed as budget gaming phones, alternatives to the ROG phone, the Republic of Gamers phone that came out late last year. These are marketed as a budget gaming phone over there. I would have liked to have seen some of that branding somewhere. It's not on the box anywhere at all. And I'm sure a lot of people won't even consider it a gaming phone. And I mean, I get it. I definitely could see why. But, then again, don't be, can't be so quick to judge, because the Honor Play that came out last summer, the Honor Play didn't have a lot of the aesthetics that your Razer phone and ROG phone have. The Razer phone was already out by the time the Honor Play came out, the original Razer phone. Xiaomi already had the Black Shark out, and ZTE had the Nubia Red Magic out before the Honor Play. And the Honor Play, was very similar in design to this phone, with the notch display. Instead of the 18:9, it had the 19:9. But it did have a lot of gaming features, and I'm not even just talking about the GPU turbo that you can get on most Huawei and Honor phones. It had 4D rumbling features, stuff like that. So, it didn't quite match the mode of a gaming phone like the other devices, but the Honor Play was definitely a gaming phone. So, I mean, it's kind of what you want it to be, I guess. I mean, it's an all-around great, performer, though. And I love the fact that it runs stock Android. I mean, there's a few things I do like about Zen UI, but I would still prefer stock Android. And again, I know I have that troll that is watching some of my videos, and whenever I say stock Android, he's quick to correct me, and he'll say, "Oh, well, if it's not a Pixel phone, a Nexus phone, or an Android One phone, it's not stock Android." So, for the stock patrol, as I like to call them, it is what I like to refer to as stock-ish Android. Stockish Android. Near stock. But I mean, it's great. I mean, it's very fluid. It's very fast. No hiccups. The Snapdragon 632 is a beast. But very impressed with this phone right here. Very impressed. The blue is really nice. They call it 4D blue. And it's metal. It's kind of rare to see that now instead of the all glass designs. It does have Gorilla Glass 6 as well, which is very impressive at this price point. It does have Gorilla Glass 6, just like the OnePlus 6T. And the ROG phone, I think, is the other phone that has Gorilla Glass 6. I'm not sure if the Galaxy Note 9 had either Gorilla Glass 5 or 6, but not many phones rock it. And for a phone of this price to have it, that's pretty awesome. But I hope y'all have enjoyed this video. Hit me up in the comments. Great device right here. The Asus the Asus Zenfone Max M2. I got to make sure I leave the Pro out because I didn't get the Pro. I just got just the Max M2, not the Max Pro M2. Like I said, I was more interested in this phone right here. But I got it off of Amazon with Prime shipping. So y'all check it out. Peace.